Mr. Neeson has devoted an incredible 26 years to the Ballard Community School District. His journey includes 15 years as a social studies teacher, 7 years as an assistant principal, and the past 4 years as our high school principal. Throughout his career, Mr. Neeson has been a huge supporter of Ballard athletics, always championing our student athletes and programs. Before stepping into administration, he made a lasting impact on the court as head coach of Ballard basketball for 20 of his 26 years. His leadership, passion, and commitment to excellence have inspired countless students, staff, and community members. As you may or may not know, Mr. Neeson will be retiring at the end of this school year. Please help us thank him for his unwavering dedication and congratulate him on a well-deserved honor. Let's give a big round of applause to Principal Chris Neeson, our IHSA Administrator of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ballard High School for tonight's Varsity Boys Basketball game. Tonight, the Ballard Bombers host the Comets of North Polk. The Comets are members of the Raccoon River Conference and enter tonight's game with a record of 6 wins and 7 losses. The head coach of the Comets is Aaron Dose. He is assisted by Evan Grover, Ryan Halterman, Dennis Johnson, and Nick Ludwig. The Ballard Bombers are also members of the Raccoon River Conference and have an undefeated season record of 11 wins and no losses. The head coach of the Bombers is Jeff Schertz. He is assisted by Tron Scott, Jared Kuderski, Wyatt Weeks, and Sam Weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, the officials for tonight's Battle of the Hardwood are Chris Reindl, Tyler Reindl, and Rudy Everson. And now for the starting lineups, first our guest, the Comets of North Polk. Starting things off in a forward position, a senior, number 4, Jake Howard. Playing guard, a junior, number 10, Jason Slings. At a guard position, a junior, number 15, Jack Speaker. Playing guard for the Comets, a senior, number 20, Drew Olsen. And rounding out the lineup in the center position, a senior, number 23, Rocky Bartleman.
All right, folks, welcome back to the hangar as we're about to get the second half of this Raccoon River Conference doubleheader underway. It's your Ballard Bombers, 11-0 on the season, number 1 ranked in 3A boys basketball against the down the road Highway 69. The North Polk Comets come with a record of 6-7. And the Bombers got the best of them in their earlier meeting this year as they beat them 77-44 over there on state tournament baseball team night at North Polk. So the Bombers look to get out early in this one as it's Parker Miller gets it. Up and no good as PK Miller misses that one. It's Parker Miller, Jackson Brown, Easton Ursuline, Miles Mudd, and Jude Gibson for the Bombers. For the Comets, it's number 4, Jake Howe. Jason Slings, number 15. As the Bombers turn it over, or they turn the Comets over, the Bombers give it right back. Can't put your head down for a second in this one so far. A lot of action. We're only not even 30 seconds in. Rocky Bartleman, 23, Drew Owen, 20, and number 15, Jack Speaker. For the Comets, this is Mudd on the left wing. He fires it down low to Ursuline Wind and Fire. Easton takes it up. He'll be fouled by Jake Hout on that one. So Easton will go to the line for 2. We're up here in the booth, or I should say at the table, and my counterpart this evening is Steve Domino. Steve's got his iPad up here as we're kind of tuned into the Johnston Dragons Dowling Catholic Maroon girls basketball game. In 5A, it's tied up right now, so good basketball going on throughout the state as Ursuline Wind and Fire makes good on the first one. The second of 2 is short and no good as that rebound is ripped down by 23 Bartleman. The Bombers put on the full court pressure even after the miss. This is what they're known for as it's sprung them to an undefeated start to the season. This is Hout with it. Now he's over there to number 20. That's Owen. That one's knocked away, and Parker Miller will steal that one. He'll go in. Parker will go up and finish against Hout, and it's up and good. Early 3-0 lead just under a minute into this one. Over a minute into this one, excuse me. Bombers with the full court pressure as Gibson's going to check number 10, Jason Slings.
It's always a good litmus test for Parker. If he's playing up through contact, that's a good thing for us.
Yes, it is, and that's a reach-in foul there from Jude Gibson. That's his first. And those are the kind that'll drive Coach Schertz a little bit batty as Jude gets a little handsy out there in the full court. He kind of sets the tone, though, so we know where we're at as far as we go as Parker knocks that one away from Owen. He spins, and he gets knocked. Should have been an and one, no call, but that's all right as Miller fouls. Finishes it through the contact, just as Steve mentioned. So it's 5-0 early here with 6:25 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, I'm really hoping the Bombers adjusted on Tuesday. We play super aggressive, foul more than all but 2 teams in 3A per game.
Sure.
But once they get to 5 fouls, we have to adjust. You can't put them on the line. You got to make them earn buckets because we're too good in the half court. And so I'd like to see that, what we saw on Tuesday continue here and on throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, and you're right, and it is adjustment. And we kind of talked about this prior to off the air, and it's wild because what are we averaging? Right around 17 or
17 and a half fouls.
17 and a half fouls a game, and
there's only 2 other teams in the state that.
That's a big time finish there from Jude Gibson as Coach Aaron Does wants a quick timeout. And this is what the Ballard Bombers do, Steve, is they can come at you and get on you in a hurry before you even really know you're out the gate.
It's great basketball. I think anytime you can play with pace, obviously you have to have the players to be able to do it. But, man, when you get up and run, the defense is scrambling. You get a half step on a guy, quick decisions, ball moves. All of a sudden it's 7-0. And that's
right.
That's how you want everybody to play basketball. I mean, everybody likes to watch it. It's really fun.
And it's no coincidence. It is packed the gym, but we've filled up basically our side. Our student section is
loaded
in full force again. They've been great all year. It looks like a blackout over there for those guys. But it's a fun brand of basketball to watch, and it's a fun brand to play if your guys buy in. And we got about 10, 11 guys that have bought in. And it is a thing of beauty when it gets rolling like we've seen here. And this is a really good start again. We saw it on Tuesday night. We were with the game in Boone, and there's and Eastland, Ursuline Wind and Fire took one off the eyeball, but he made the layup, so it's 9-0. He was looking to cram time that one, Steve.
I thought he was gonna.
And I thought he was too. This is Slings with it now. He's checked by Mudd, and that's over to Olson. Almost loses out of bounds. This is Jake Hout with it.
Really nice having Easton back in the lineup. He's incredible athlete, difference maker in the lineup. Plays super, super hard. Out for an injury a couple of weeks ago there, and nice to have him back this week.
That's Olson will fire up the three. It's up and no good. And rebound by Bartleson. That was 15, Jack Spiker with it. He's out of bounds as Bartleson over there. So 5:23 to go, 9-0 lead for the Bombers.
I believe that's Speaker.
Speaker?
Yep.
Okay. Jack Speaker. Thank you for the correction as we got a wholesale substitution. Somewhat only 2 for the Comets, but it'll be, looks like 3 for the Bombers as number 2, Caden Aguinal will check in. Number 20, Jackson Scott will check in, along with Dylan Schoen. Gibson, Mudd, and Ursuline Wind and Fire will take a break. And number 22 checks in, Eli Peterson, along with, I believe, can't see his number out here right now. He's up front here. It looks like number 14, maybe, Benjamin Glasgow. Ben Glasgow. We've got a travel called on Dylan Schoen there. Must have drugged the pivot just a bit. So downtown Jackson Brown and PK Miller are the starters to stay on. Aguinal's number 2, Schoen's 11, Jackson Scott 20, Jackson Brown 21, and PK Miller 4. Bombers look for the trap. It's pushed ahead there. Eli Peterson has it. Now over there to the corner. That's a 3 for 15. That was no good for Speaker.
That's another thing with the pressure is we force teams into taking quick shots. You know, that's not the shot that they're looking for.
Parker Miller goes up, and he will draw the foul, does PK Miller. Again, attacking the rim.
Well, yeah, absolutely. When he's playing downhill, he's a talented kid. I've got a sophomore, and we've seen him on the court since he was in first grade, and always been a bit different.
And the thing about Parker Miller is, and I've said it throughout this year, as Bryce Miller checks in for downtown Jackson Brown, it looks like Ursuline Wind and Fire will be in here for PK. But he's a stat sheet stuffer, man. He does a lot of the little things.
He does all the little things.
Right. And so he can assist the ball. He rebounds it. He shoots it at a pretty high percentage. I think he had 24 the other night against Boone, and it was a pretty quiet 24. And he'll tell you he should have had 32. And he's not wrong with that. Bombers with a little trap in the corner. Now it's out here to the left wing, now to the left corner. That Slings will sling it up there. It's no good. Bombers rip down the rebound with PK Miller. He'll lead the break. Looks like Scott will be in the post, and PK looking for a little ball screen action from CA. Caden Aguinal. Aguinal with it on the right wing. Now to PK over here to the left side to Dylan Schoen. Fires it out here to Aguinal, down to the corner to PK Miller. He'll try a 3-ball. It's up and too strong off the back iron.
It's a good look. Quick
Jake
pass
Howe.
by Aguinal there. I like that.
And the extra, we saw that a little bit in Boone on Tuesday night with that extra pass, getting a better one. That one's off the back iron, no good. Bryce Miller pulls down the rebound. He fires it ahead to Parker Miller.
Ooh,
little Euro
move.
step through from PK Miller. It's up and good. 12-0 lead here for the Bombers, under 4 to go. Bombers apply the pressure. It's 22, Eli Peterson with it. He gets right to the rack. He cannot finish. Caden Aguinal with the rebound. He's looking to push. He's got PK Miller on the left side. PK back to Aguinal. Aguinal will not take the 3, and he'll get called for the travel. He did. Didn't put it down quite in time as Easton Ursuline checks in for PK Miller. A well-deserved break.
The kid kind of busted out on Tuesday.
Yeah,
He's a great shooter. Percentages weren't showing it early in the season, but Tuesday got hot, and, I don't mind. It's a little bit deep there, but you're feeling it, man. Let it fly.
Yeah, you got to let it fly. I agree with you. And he's got the range in him, right? It's not really a bad shot. And the way we like to play, that's actually kind of helps us because it can get us into a little bit of transition look, and it makes them play a little more transition basketball as well. And this is Slings with it. Dribble drive, it's not there. Taken away by Easton Ursuline. He finds Aguinal. Aguinal with it. Left side here on the left wing. Looks for a ball screen from Ursuline. Cross court to Bryce Miller. Bryce picks up his dribble, gets a little help here from Aguinal. Aguinal on the all-hair team. Got a good head of hair, does Caden Aguinal. I'll tell you what.
That's natural, I believe.
Yes, it is.
So's Bryce.
Bryce gets it knocked away on a good defensive play there from Eli Peterson as it's still 12-0. 2:57 to go, 13 on the shot clock. As the Bombers look to the bench for Coach Schertz, and what's the play we want to run here, Coach? Bryce Miller will look to inbound. Ursuline with it on the left wing. He dribbles a baseline. Tough finish there from Easton. Couldn't get it to go down. Drew Olson corrals that loose ball. The lefty will attack it. He'll be fouled. He'll go to the line for what looks like 2 shots. We'll see who this one will be called on. It was Schoen and Ursuline were both there. Looks like that'll be called on Easton Ursuline. It'll be his first of the game. Second on the team for the Bombers. Drew Owen, excuse me, I believe I was saying Olsen. It is Drew Owen. He makes good on the first one as we've got some subs in. Miles Mudd will check in along with Lincoln Miller, Jackson Brown, and Jude Gibson. Aguinaldo, Bryce Miller, Jackson Scott, and Dylan Schoen will take a rest. Owen too strong with that one. Rebound tipped around. Gibson comes down with it. He'll look to run. Slow it down in the half court, Will Jude. He's checked out here by Jason Slings. Ball screen from Lincoln Miller. Kicked out to Mudd. Mudd will fire the three. It's air ball, no good. Slings with it as he loses his dribble, and it's going to be a travel called on Jason Slings. A little ball pressure there from Jude Gibson.
Yeah, those are one of the ones. It's not a steal. It doesn't show up in the stat column, but that is 100% because of Jude Gibson.
Right.
It's pretty interesting. Throughout the year, you'll see guys, they don't want to bring the ball up against him. Like, they're trying to get it out of their hands, and I see why. I mean, he's a dog.
For sure. That was a little screen and roll. There was a little slip from Ursuline, and Gibson found him, but he drew the foul. Looks like that'll be on number 14. On Ben Glasgow, his first, third of the quarter here on the Comets.
Good luck.
Brown too strong with that one was Jackson. As Steve mentioned, really good look, good set out of that. This is Slings with it. Now he'll get it over here to Ben Glasgow. Owen with it at the top of the key. He's checked out here by Elmer Mudd. Good drive there by Drew, but to no avail. Brown with a push. He with a little floater, a little Euro step, kind of unorthodox, but it went down. It's the tally 14-1 with approaching 1:30 to go.
The difficulty of that type of shot is so underrated. I mean,
yeah, the footwork and the touch.
It's impressive.
Yes, it is. Good ball movement here from the Comets. Got out of the trap, got a wide open three, and that's Eli Peterson will knock that one down.
Feldman in the game now.
Yeah, looks like number 12. Yeah, Nathan Feldman. And
QB1.
QB1, I tell you what, you talk about an outstanding performance in a state championship game. That kid gave one for the North Polk Comets and led them to a state football title and undefeated season. So Nate Feldman probably won't have to ask for a lot in Alleman or the North Polk communities.
We are
so the day he goes.
Obvious rivals being so close, but a lot of respect and congrats to those guys. That and baseball, I mean, it takes a lot to get a conference title, but go out and win like they did. It was impressive.
Yeah, and that football team was quite amazing because they graduated a ton of seniors.
Left.
And brought it back, and that's a big time finish there from PK Miller with the left hand as the Dominators set it right there. 16-4, under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Drew Owen brings it up. He's checked by downtown Jackson Brown. This is Feldman with it. He's checked by Gibson. Hand off here. That was Speaker with it. Now it's Drew Owen. He'll fire the little lefty jumper. It's up, no good.
4 guys on the boards there. Really like that.
Yes, it is. That was Mudd who got it. Now the push ahead to Gibson. Looking to possibly get it reversed here as we'll.
Got a two-second differential or so?
Yes, sir. About a 2-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. PK Miller's got 9 here in the first quarter with Gibson with 4. I'd like to see us try to get Jackson Brown going just a little bit here. He had a good look, and we're just used to Jackson making those. Off the double. Kicks it. Jude will fire the 3, and it's an air ball, so it'll be a shot clock violation on that one. That's the second air ball here in the first quarter by the Bombers on a 3-point attempt.
Kind of came off his hand a little weird there.
I think he found himself more open than what he thought he was going to be, and we may have an adjustment on the game clock here as far as we talked about the discrepancy between the shot clock and the game clock. So maybe 2 seconds on that game clock. As it'll be North Polk basketball underneath the Bomber bucket. We'll leave it as is. Some substitutions coming in. Bryce Miller for Lincoln Miller. Easton Ursuline for PK Miller. Excuse me, for Jackson Brown. As the Bombers will pick up in the full court here. They turn him over. Gibson will fire up the jumper. It's no good, but boy, the Bombers got him turned over. And it's just exactly what Coach Church drew up, as that's the end of one. It was all Bombers in the first, 16-4 after one quarter. Gonna bring up some Stealth Athletic Booster members here. Huxley Communications. At Huxley Communications, the only thing faster than our internet is our service. The only provider in the area offering 100% fiber optic service. You can depend on us for your home, work, and school. A partner in your community and your trusted source for the most reliable internet service. We invest heavily in the communities we serve. Year after year, we proudly support the Ballard Community School District and Ballard Athletics, a local member-owned cooperative since 1937. We are the #1 local telecommunications provider for the Ballard residents and surrounding communities. Go Bombers. Also, Chick-fil-A Ames. Hey, Bomber fans, making a decision about what to eat can be hard, especially when you are on the go. Chick-fil-A Ames helps you save time with easy-to-order options on the Chick-fil-A app. Plus, with every qualifying purchase, you'll earn points towards rewards. The Chick-fil-A we all enjoy just a tap away. Download the Chick-fil-A app and order your favorites today. Let's go Bombers. Steve, what did you see in that first quarter from the Bombers?
A pretty methodical approach to the game, the way we play, and disciplined. You know, like I said earlier in the broadcast, when we get overly aggressive and handsy and foul way too much, you know, that's not disciplined basketball. We can be aggressive but still be solid in the half court, and I saw that in the first quarter. Love to see it continue here. Absolutely.
For the Bombers on the floor, it's Bryce Miller, Caden Aguinaw, Dylan Schoen, PK Miller, and Jude Gibson. So not a senior on the floor here for this Bombers team at the moment. This is Feldman with it on the right wing. He's checked by Bryce Miller. That one's knocked away out of bounds off of Gibson. And also Brady Cathcart's in for the Comets along with Rocky Bartleman. He's the starter. 15 Jack Speakers in along with, it looks like, Jake Hout. And number 2, now we said Cathcart's in. So we're good. Be foul on Dylan Schoen there on the Bombers, I believe.
I believe number 2, sophomore. Saw him in the JV game a little bit earlier tonight.
Cathcart, yeah, just a
Plays
sophomore.
hard, nice player.
Feldman looks to inbounds here. This is Hout with it on the wing. Checked by Schoen. Baseline help was there. Good cut by Bartleson, and he'll be fouled on the way up. He'll have 2 shots coming. There was a foul on Caden Aguinaw. It'll be his first, second of the quarter here for the Bombers. So to touch on what you spoke of earlier.
The opposite of what I said.
Exactly. We're too early here. Not even 30 seconds into the quarter. 16-5 is the second one coming here. He makes good on that one, so 16-6. Bryce Miller directs traffic as the Comets are in the man-to-man. Aguinaw to the left side over here to Gibson. He's hand-checked, and Jude with a little rise on that one. Didn't see that one coming as he tried to, I don't know, kind of dunk it, but he got up there on the rim, and Jude's listed as at 6'1", but I'm going to tell you, if Jude's 6'1", I got to be about 6'1.5".
Yeah, I'm 6'3" then.
There you are, okay. PK Miller with it. He's checked by Jake Hout. PK gets it down. I think he'll be fouled. It looks like that will be Feldman in on the reach there. That'll be foul on Nate Feldman. Jason Slings will check back in as Feldman will get a break. Okay, Miller, it's inbounded by Bryce to Parker.
Little hook shot.
Turnaround hook shot, no good. 16-6 here as the Comets are kind of just hanging around. The Bombers jumped on them early as it was 9-0, I believe 10-0. But the Comets have held their own since then as we switch on the ball screen. That's Speaker with it. Now it's Bartleson. Hout will fire the 3 up, and it's no good. But Bartleson is there for the rebound, but it's taken away by PK Miller. He'll bring it up with the dribble. Hand off to Gibson. Gibson with it on the right wing. He attacks. Now to Schoen. Now to
Great
Miller to
ball movement.
Aguinaw. Aguinaw can't get that one to go down. It was a really good look, and as Steve mentioned, really good ball movement there for the Bombers.
Little static on offense, though. I don't like us standing around and watching one guy dribble. That's not going to work.
Too easy to guard that way, right? That's just the Good move there from Cathcart. Couldn't finish, though, as Miller brings down the rebound. He fires it ahead to Bryce Miller. He pushes it with the dribble. That one's no good. Bombers have had some really good looks here, but haven't gotten them to go down. That's Dylan Schoen. That'll be out of bounds. It looks like it'll be off of the Bombers. Schoen tipped that one away, so Jackson Brown will check in, along with Easton Ursland and Miles Mudd. Parker Miller and Bryce Miller will check out, so Schoen and Gibson will stay. Bombers in full court pressure here. Oh, that's going to be a reach-in foul on Jude Gibson. That'll be his second of the game and the third on the team here in this quarter. As Cathcart looks to inbounds. Bombers in this full court pressure. Schoen will be checking Slings. Not an easy task here for Jason Slings, as there's nobody in the conference that plays harder than Dylan Schoen. And if there is, I want to see him.
It's probably on his own team.
And it could be, as that one's tipped away. Thrown ahead there from Jackson Brown to Mudd. Well, dribbles it down. And I don't know where he was going with that one, and we turn it over as we just dribbled into no man's land there. 16-6 again. Bombers a bit stagnant here on offense. Do we have a bucket here in this second quarter? I don't believe we do. It was 16-4 at the end of one, and the Bombers have not scored. The three is up, and it's good, and now it's 16-9 as the Comets are winning the quarter 5-0 here. And this is kind of what North Polk would like to see happen. Things get a little stagnant. They would like to play it into the 40s or 50s.
Yeah, they're going to want to grind out possessions in the half court. And for us to play fast, we got to get stops. So
correct, and make baskets. One's tipped away. It looks like they called Miles on the out of bounds on the step. He may have traveled with it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was
early.
a double that they didn't call.
Yeah, double dribble. So it'll be Drew Owen will check in for Brady Cathcart. Good minutes there from the sophomore. Jack Speaker has it. He'll bring it up here, will Jack? Over here to Jason Slings. Now with it on the wing over there is Owen. Now back up top to Slings. Slings will fire that jump shot. It's too short.
Yeah, he's blocked there by Jude, I think.
As the Bombers, we want to run and we want to play fast, Steve, but sometimes we get caught in the middle where we kind of jog and then we got 1 foot in and 1 foot out if we want to play with pace. It's not a sometimes thing, it's an all the time thing.
And when we go so deep in the rotation, there's no excuse for
That's another turnover, an unforced error again.
Selling out when you're on the court.
Correct.
You got another dude coming in, so we just need to run teams out of the gym and stop letting them hang around.
100%. Give your maximum effort for 2 minutes at a time.
Oh, it's back up.
Waverly Shellrock and the Nevada Cubs. Waverly Shellrock leads that one 22-7 in the second quarter. 16-9 here, approaching the 4-minute mark in the second quarter, as it's been all Comets here in the second quarter. It was all Bombers in the first. They jumped out to that 16-4 lead, but things have really slowed down here for your Bombers. He count with it out top. He's checked by Miles Mudd. Now it Slings with it. Bombers look to trap. They get it done. They get it kicked out. Now it'll be Howe with it. Does he get it off in time? He does, and the three is good. So now it is 16-12, as this has been all North Polk Comets here in the second quarter. And this is a far cry from what we saw down south early in the season, Mr. Domino.
That's a perfect possession for them. You know, drilling a three at the buzzer of a shot clock, keeping us occupied.
Another miss, and another miss at the rim for the Bombers, as the Bombers have not made a bucket here in the second quarter, and we're approaching 5 minutes in.
Yeah, I get letting them play through it here, but sometimes you need a TO.
PK Miller has it. Now to Bryce. He won't take the shot. He'll get us set up again. And kudos to this North Polk team. They kind of came in with a game plan here. They weathered the storm early. Took a couple of body blows, but didn't allow themselves to get knocked out. As Feldman will check back in along with Eli Peterson. Slings and Hout will take a break. 2:52 to go. The Bombers lead 16-12, but it's been all North Polk Comets here in the second quarter.
Yeah, just a bunch of competitors out here playing harder than we are.
Yes, they are right now. That one's knocked out of bounds by Peterson. Miles Mudd will look to inbound it. Jackson Brown, that's downtown Jackson Brown for three, and the lid has come off finally for the Bombers. Over 5 minutes in here to the second quarter, and he gets that one to go. 19-12, and the Bombers desperately need a stop here to keep the momentum going. Owen with a dribble drive. He kicks it out here. That's number 11, Cale Peterson with the three. He knocks it down, and we've got a foul called. I'm not sure what happened there.
They called the three good. I missed the actual foul, though.
The basket is good. And we've got a foul on 21, Jackson Brown, so that'll make it 19-15.
So three in the ball.
Three and the ball. This is a huge possession here for the Comets, as I didn't see what Jackson did down there, as I was just seeing the three ball. Drew Owen has it. That's 14, Ben Glasgow with it. Now he's over here to Drew Owen on the right side. He's checked by PK Miller. Bottled up, and it'll be out of bounds off of PK. 25 on the shot clock, 2:19 on the game clock. Again, a lot of credit to this North Polk team, as they have not backed down one bit.
I mean, as expected too, right? Rivalry game.
For sure.
After what happened down there, and
yeah, down there we jumped on them early, and it was over early in that one, and we just really never let them get in the flow. We've kind of allowed that to happen. Good take there from Miles Mudd, as he'll draw the foul.
And their record doesn't reflect it, but they're a solid bunch. I mean, you got a bunch of athletes. Looks like they're playing quite a few more younger players.
Yeah, and
they're competitors. I mean, as we talked about state titles earlier, you don't win those without being competitors.
And
so
this is a team that was in the state title game just a couple years ago,
right?
I believe. So they're there, and Coach Dose knows what he's doing, and they lost some guys, obviously. I mean, Reggie Postal last year was just was an unbelievable player and a great shooter. He was a bomber killer, really. I mean, that guy, I think he had 36 that night a year ago here. So as Mudd misses the first one, the last five for North Polk, they're 2-3 in those games, and they lost a nail biter to Boone, and then the ADM and Gilbert got him pretty good. But they beat Bondurant Farrar, who's improved, as Mudd makes good on the second one. So it's 20-15 with 2:04 to go. But again,
this is a gut check for the Bombers. I mean, you have aspirations for state titles, right? You can't let teams like this hang around. So let's see how they react.
Correct. And you said it best right there, Steve. And this is a team, you're number one ranked, and you know every night you're going to get everybody's best shot.
Without question.
You've got a bullseye on your back. We saw it. We did a little thing on the news on Channel 13, which was great. And I talked to Coach Schertz. I said the bullseye was big, and it just got bigger. But that's with great expectations comes great responsibility. And those are things that you got to thrive under if you're the Bombers. And like you said, gut check time. And if you want to win it, this is how you get them turned over here. Couldn't get it done as Hout has it. Feldman with it on the right wing. Nowhere to go for Feldman. That's Owen in the corner for three. It's no good. Bryce Miller gets that rebound. Now it's up ahead to Aguinall. Aguinall cross court to Ursuline. Nah, that was an ill-advised shot at best there from Easton Ursuline as he was falling away. You want to run, but you got to be under control when you do it. This is Peterson now. He just knocked down a three, and he's too strong with that one as Owen gets the offensive rebound. This is Hout with it. Out there to Feldman. Now this is Drew Owen for three. That's off of an offensive rebound. That's no good, and another offensive rebound for the Comets. Right now, the Comets are just playing harder than the Bombers, and they're to every loose ball. And you got to believe that'll be a conversation Coach Schertz will have in the locker room at halftime, as it's 20-15, under a minute to go. Aguinall fire that three, and it's up and no good. Too strong. Good rebound there from Parker Miller. He kicks it out to Bryce Miller. Out here to Ursuline. Aguinaw with it. PK Miller goes to the dribble drive with a big-time body check. That one's swatted away. It'll be saved inbounds by Cale Peterson.
Just standing around watching the ball.
Owen has it. Now it's off of his leg. Peterson gets it back. This is Feldman with it. He's on a dribble drive. They're definitely letting him play right now, as it looks like Dylan Schoen may have just rolled a little bit of an ankle there. As Schoen gets up. No shot clock. Under 20 to go here in the second quarter. 20-15 is the score. The Bombers lead. Schoen's a little gimpy on this ankle, I think, over here, but he's going to suck it up. Get Aguinaw on that little slip screen, and we got a good look, and we couldn't get it to go down. So that'll do it for one half of basketball. It was 16-4 at the end of one, and it is now 20-15, the Bombers lead. But that was a well-done second quarter from the North Polk Comets.
Yeah, they executed their game plan. I mean, grinded out possessions, knocked down a couple threes, forced us to shoot outside shots. I mean, that's kudos to them for now.
100%, and we're not making shots. You got to make shots to get into pressure. You got to get rebounds and things like that. A lot to be desired out of that second quarter, but we've got a second half to rectify it as we'll step away here for a few minutes. From the hangar here in Huxley, the Bombers lead 20-15 over the North Polk Comets. All right, welcome back to the hangar as we're looking to get this second half started. Whew, that first half, it started like crazy in that first quarter, Steve. It was 16-4, and then it was all Comets in the second quarter. It's 20-15, the Bombers still lead. But first 2-3 minutes of this third quarter, fairly important for the Bombers, would you say?
Every game, right? How you start the game and how you start the second half usually decides how the game turns out.
Good finish there from Gibson as he got a little bump and grind on that one, but he finished through contact. 22-15 as the Bombers get into that full court pressure. More pep in their step. This is Drew Owen with it now, the left-hander. Out here to Jason Slings. He gives it back to Speaker. Knocked away by Mudd. I call it a tip away, so it'll be 23 on the shot clock. Bartleman here with it. Bartleman with it. Owen fires a left-handed three. It's up and no good. Good block out there from Mudd. Gets it to Ersland. Now Gibson looks to run with it. Finds Mudd on the trail. Down in the corner to Easton Ersland. Now it's Mudd back up here with it. Now over to Jackson Brown. Brown with a dribble. Picks it up. Little back cut there. It'll be out of bounds off the Bombers.
That's just another example of 4 guys watching 1 guy dribble. We got to keep moving, guys.
You got to keep moving. And I always say it's a lot like basketball's like NASA. It's all about space. You want to create it, and you want to take it away. And right there, we didn't have any spacing. We had 3 guys within about 4 foot of each other, which makes us really easy to guard, and we're standing around watching. But Drew Owen with it now. Jason Slings with the basketball. Bombers seem to have a little more pep in their step early in this third quarter. Hout with it. Fires a turnaround, no good. Jackson Brown with the rebound. He fires it ahead over here to the right side to Ersland. Cross court to Gibson. Gibson will try the 3 ball. That is up and no good. Rebound there as nobody crashed the offensive glass. 1 and done for the Bombers. Home with it on the left wing. Out here to Hout. Bartleman with it. He goes to attack Ersland. Good up and under there from Rocky Bartleman with a good solid move.
Really nice footwork. Got Easton in the air. Actually give Easton a little bit of credit there to not foul.
I was with a little bit of a weave there, and Miles Mudd couldn't get that one to go down as he went downhill on the attack to no avail. Jason Slings brings it up against Mudd. Miles really dogging him out there, moving his feet really well is Miles. Bombers do a nice job of trading that handoff out on the perimeter because you've got these guys that can guard just about anybody, as that's Drew Owen for 3. And now it's a 2-point game. And I would say at this juncture, Steve, the Bombers are in for a dogfight. Brown with it on the left wing, out here to Ersland. Parker Miller has it. He's checked by Hout. Good dribble drive. Gibson with it on the left wing. He goes in, attacks, finishes up through contact. Good finish there from Gibson. Owen will inbounds it. This will be Speaker with it. Now Hout will bring it up. This is Jake Hout. He'll bring it up, and Ersland will check him. He hands it off to Drew Owen. Owen with a left-handed drive. Kicks it to Hout. He'll fire a 3, and that's up and good. Jake Hout. 24-23, the Bombers lead by 1 as Dylan Schoen is.
I think that was Speaker on the bucket.
As Gibson turns it over. We got a timeout called.
No, I think he called a 3rd foul.
Oh, and it looks like we might have a foul called here.
He gave him the timeout. We got lucky there.
Okay, so he'll give him the timeout. No foul called. So he'll give the timeout to North Polk as the Bombers turn it over. It'll be North Polk basketball underneath the Bomber. Not quite underneath the Bomber basket, but on the Bomber end. So 24-23, 4:42 to go here in the third quarter. And this has been all North Polk.
You know, quite the opposite of what's happening out there in 3A tonight. Just following a couple games of some of the top end of 3A, starting to get into seeding time, regionals, trying to follow some of these squads. And Waverly's putting it to Nevada. That game's pretty much over in the third quarter.
It's 42-19 right
Dubuque
now.
Wallart's doing its best to keep up with 4A senior, but they're down by about 15.
But again, that's not a loss that'll hurt Dubuque Wahlert. I mean, it goes against them, but that's a 4A school.
Yeah, they played a tough league.
Yeah,
and then,
they do.
We got MOC Floyd Valley up there putting it on Sioux Center. So would like to see the Bombers do something similar here tonight, but I think we're going to be in for a battle.
This is Owen with it. He's checked and he's fouled out here by Parker Miller. We just seem to be a touch late with what we're doing. Drew Owen will look to inbound it here as Dylan Schoen checked in. And Easton Ursuline will take a breather. Jake Howard, he's hit a three-pointer in this quarter. Slings with it, now back to Howard. He's checked out here by his number 4 counterpart. That's Miles Mudd. He takes it away from Jason Slings. Now it's a loose ball. Now it's going to be a jump ball. I think it's going to be a jump ball, but we're looking at each other. We do have a jump ball. We'll stay with the Comets. Good hustle by both teams there.
Another sophomore in the game there for North Polk, playing hard, making the most of his minutes.
You bet. 22 on the shot clock here for the Comets. Rocky Bartleman catches it out top. He's checked by Jackson Brown. Now it'll be Slings with it. He's
not sure how that didn't reset on the possession by us and then the steal back, but
that'll be a turnover force there by the Bombers on good ball pressure defense. Again, 24-23, the Bombers lead. Bombers had a 16-4 lead after the first quarter, folks. 4:09 to go here in the third quarter. Again, the Bombers want to play games in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Gibson has it knocked away, and he'll draw a foul, and it'll be underneath. As again, we try to get Jude on the post up. Fumble it around, so it'll be just a tick under 4 to go. There's a couple subs checking in here for the Comets. That's Peterson will check in. That's Eli Peterson, number 14. Ben Glasgow will check in. Ursuline checks back in for the Bombers. As Gibson will check out. Schoen has it on the right wing. He finds Parker Miller. Parker Miller will go up, and too strong with it is PK Miller. Another good look. The Bombers can't buy a bucket right now. That's part of the issue. They just can't find the bottom of the net as Gibson checks back in for Miles Mudd. Be Mudd, Schoen, Parker Miller, and Easton Ursuline. This is Slings with it. He gets it to Howe in the middle of the floor. Now it'll be over here. That's number 22, Peterson with it, and that's rebounded. Big time rebound by 14. Ben Glasgow and the North Polk Comets have their first lead of the game as it's 25-24. Gibson gets it to Miller. On the dribble drive, it'll be on the floor. The foul will be called. So it'll be the second on the Comets of the quarter. It'll be Ballard basketball underneath. Select number 15, Jack Speaker will check back in as Peterson, that's Cale Peterson, will check out. Out of bounds on the inbounds underneath. The Bombers throw it away as they trail 25-24 with 3:26 to go. And Steve, I don't know what to say right now other than the Bombers got to get it figured out in a hurry.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it in their body language. It's, you know, the psyche of a high school kid. That's what Coach Schertz gets paid the big bucks for, right?
Sure. You bet.
Pun intended.
Nailed it, by the way. Shown. Now it's out here.
Good job, JB.
Looks like we've got a kick, or maybe we're going to get a foul call, or is it a kick? I'm not sure which one it was. It's going to be a foul on Easton Ursuline Wind and Fire there. It'll be his second of the quarter on the Bombers. 3:06 to go. Bombers trail by 1 in this Raccoon River Conference matchup. The North Polk Comets come in with a record of 6-7. The Bombers undefeated at 11-0. That doesn't matter right now as this Comet team has not backed down. Eli Peterson will inbounds it to Jason Slings. Jackson Brown with good defense there. He's going to be,
that
should be an intentional foul. It's going to be. I think he might call it, but that should be an intentional foul, and by rule, that is the right call.
What about the bucket? Does the bucket count?
I don't know if the bucket counts or not. We'll see. The bucket is good.
Wow.
So we get the continuation and the intentional foul. We'll take it. That was just good hard-nosed defense out here by Jackson Brown, which it's good to see. So now we're going to see what we have here because the bucket's good. So do we have 2 fouls shots coming?
It should be on an intentional foul.
So he does have 2, and we get the ball back.
I think we got the better of the bargain there with the continuation.
Right,
I don't,
sure.
Bucket
you don't see that very often.
It should
in high
not have
school
counted, right?
We'll take it, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
It could be the thing that kind of sparks us here with. And now we're going to talk about it.
I'm not certain, but I'm of the belief it should be 2 shots.
I believe it is 2. In
it's
high
pretty
school,
rare you see an intentional foul with a bucket made.
With a bucket made, correct.
And so that's probably where the confusion's coming from.
I don't think Coach Schertz likes this. And they counted the basket, and now Coach is saying they took it away. So now JB will go to the line, and Coach Schertz doesn't like this, and they got it together. However, it's hard to take that back after the call's been made, but we just saw it happen. So JB goes to the line for the second of the intentional. So he gets the 2. The layup does not count.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, that's probably the right call. I don't execution
take a 1-point lead.
of it by the refs are a little sloppy, but
right.
But I think at the end of the day, this is
the Bomber basketball. That was an intentional foul there on Peterson, just as JB took it away from him on the good ball pressure and the denial. So the Bombers have a 26-25 lead, under 3 minutes to go. As Gibson will draw another foul. And I'm not sure if Jude will go to the line for 2. That was a foul called on number 12, Nate Feldman. That'll be his 3rd foul. Jude will go to the line for 2. That's the 4th team foul, so note that. Next one, the Bombers are guaranteed 2 free throws on any foul, shooting or non-shooting.
That's when you like to see the guys stay aggressive downhill, make them make a play.
100% agree with you. I'd really like to see us turn up the heat here just a little bit as Schoen's going to check out. I think Dylan's just a little gimpy on that ankle. He just doesn't seem quite right, and he'll gut it out, man. Like I said, he's a tough kid. But so it'll be Bryce Miller in here with Jude Gibson, PK Miller, Easton Ursuline, and Jackson Brown. As the Bombers look to heat him up here in the full court just a little bit. Looked like it could have been a travel there on Feldman, but not called. Drew Owen has it. Now Feldman with it out here up top. He's checked by Parker Miller. Hands it off to Speaker. Now he throws it out here to Hout. Hout is checked by Jackson Brown in a good defensive stance. Ball screen there. There's Glasgow with the ball screen. Feldman will shoot the little runner, and it'll go up and in. Nice bucket there from Nate Feldman. Gibson with a dribble drive. A little step through, and he goes up.
Jude's in takeover mode, it feels like.
I think he is as well. He's aggressive to the rack, and when you get Jude in that kind of mindset, he's really tough to guard.
Yeah, playing off 2 feet for him is super important.
This is Owen with the lefty. He'll be dogged. Good help there from JB. Crowd wanted to travel to no avail, and Owen gets that one on the front of the rim to go down. And these Comets will not go quietly into the night as it's tied up at 30 with approaching 1:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. Downtown Jackson Brown from downtown Kelly, Iowa. It felt like he hit that one from distance. 33-30, the Bombers take the lead. Drew Owen with a big-time drive, and just as we speak of it, we give up a end-to-end wide-open layup as Drew Owen took it right to the rack, drew the foul. And those are the things you can't have happen if you want to play championship basketball. Good take there by Drew Owen. Left he goes. He makes good on the first one. Just got that 3 to go. 33-31 now. 1:22 to go in the 3rd quarter. Owen short on that one.
Great job by Bryce there.
Bryce gets
offensive rebound would have been a killer for us.
Yes, it would have been. And we've seen that happen quite often this season, Steve, on free throws.
Yeah.
And Gibson gives it away there. On the turnover, got too cutesy with the dribble. Like you said, just got to get one dribble and get to the rim. Straight line drive, and Owen gets it, and he'll be fouled by Bryce Miller, as that's another straight line drive for Drew Owen. And that guy knows what he's doing with the basketball.
Yeah, and the Bombers, this is scouting, I think. We forced that dribble drive to that lane on that angle with the anticipation of help and a trap coming, which it works a lot. You know, kids they're excited about being open to the bucket, and all of a sudden a defender comes out of nowhere. But that angle of attack straight to the rim has to be pushed outside the line.
Right. Outside, let's look at that volleyball line, right? We'll look at that 10-foot line.
He's got to stay out there.
Yep. Outside of the block area for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Owen makes good on the second one, so he gets 1 of 2.
Bryce rotated his help, got his verticality, but it was just...
He was too deep.
Well, he was fine. The dribble drive was too deep.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We were too deep it was almost a moot point at that juncture.
It was static once again. 4 guys watching, 1 dude with the ball.
There's a no call there. Really good no call. They've been letting him play.
And we don't get back.
And there's Ben Glasgow with the finish as the Bombers are in for now. It's 34-33. 30 seconds to go. Gibson has it here at the top of the key. Over here to Jackson Brown. He'll fire the 3. It's up and no good. Off the shot clock. So it's now 34-33. 18 seconds to go. The Comets will hold for the last shot if they can. We're going to check in with Caden Aganaw here. He's going to come for Jackson Brown. Good pressure here from the Bombers as Gibson comes away with the steal. He'll draw a foul there, will Jude, and he's helped up by his teammate Easton Urson. So Jude will go to the line for 2 free throws. 13.6, and that Bomber full court pressure is effective, but we just haven't put the ball in the basket enough to really see it. And to give you a point of reference, folks, we had 27 at the end of 1 on Boone on Tuesday night.
Yeah, the Bombers, they average 69 points a game. Definitely not on pace for that tonight.
No. Jude misses the first one, so he's got this one to tie it up here. He gets the second one to go, and Schoen will come in, and he'll check in for Jude. He's got 2 fouls for Gibson. So it'll be Bryce Miller, Caden Aganaw, Dylan Schoen, Easton Ursuline, Wind and Fire, and Miles Mudd. Got to be careful here if you're the Bombers with 4 team fouls, so we don't need to get a ticky-tack touch one here.
That's the worst thing that could happen right now.
Looks like he might have got away with a travel there to Owen. He'll fire up the 3, and that one's up and no good. And we're going to have a foul called right here on Miles Mudd. Boy, it looked like it was after the horn to me, but it's a judgment call, but I think it was a foul on Miles.
It's frankly too close.
Yep.
We shouldn't even be challenging that shot.
So now Slings will go to the line for 2. They'll just have to reset, I think, to get the neon off the board. There we go. Nice job by the scores table over there. That's not an easy job either over there with those folks. Jason Slings goes to the line. He gets the first one to go. Gives the Comets a 35-34 lead here. Slings gets the second one. Now the Comets lead 36-34, and that'll do it at the end of the third quarter. That's it. So we go into the fourth quarter, and the Bombers trail this one by 2, 36-34. Steve, take me into the huddle if you're Coach Schertz right now. And only words that are good for TV.
Yeah, well, those words don't do any good anymore. I figured out with kids. You know, it's a mentality thing right now. We are letting them play their game. And when we're at our best, we're imposing our will upon the other team. And that's not happening. And I give North Polk credit. They've handled the half-court, full-court pressure really well this half. And ever since the first quarter. And since then, you know, we miss a few buckets and shoulders slump and we play a half step slow. The kids just got to take it to them right now. And I think the group will respond. They need somebody to light a spark.
I agree. And we've got good senior leadership. I mean, we've got some good seniors on this team.
We've been in this spot far often than we should have this year. But
right. This is very similar to the Carroll game, just a little less scoring
obviously,
involved.
Assuming we can pull this out, this is the type of game I'd rather have than a 30-point blowout anyway. So
I agree, and it's we got to get the win, and it's you want to win them all,
a lot
right?
of work to do though.
We do. We've got a lot of adjustments to make happen. The good news is we got 8 minutes to rectify this. We're just down 2. And there's Brown. He'll fire that 3 up, and it's no good. Gibson with a big-time crash. Ursuline had it, but it's taken away. We just got to grab the basketball, and Jude will get that one turned over.
You know, it's okay if they don't let them play like this, but we have to respond in a way that is the same as they're playing.
100%.
We've got to stop being soft.
You're right. We got to match their intensity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Match their toughness, I guess, would be the word that we're looking for. Got JB open again. Downtown, Jackson Brown can't get that one to go. Had 2 really good looks there for Jackson Brown. And we're accustomed to him making them, as here comes Slings, and he'll turn it over as we just sped him up and up. Here's Brown with it now. He's going to look to it. Now when we turn it over again. Now it's a back and forth turnover struggle here as the Comets lead by 2. Approaching 1 minute gone here in the fourth quarter with 7 to go. 36-34, the North Polk Comets lead. Owen gets it out here to Jason Slings. Now out here to Hout. Jake Hout has it. He's checked. This is Jack Speaker. He takes it right at Easton Ursuline and finishes at the rim. 4-point lead here for the Bombers. Gibson with a handoff to Mudd. Mudd with a dribble. Out here to Jackson Brown. We're here to the right wing to Gibson. He goes into the attack mode, and it's off the glass, and he rattles it in and good. 38-36. 6:15 to go here in the fourth quarter. This is Hout with it on the sideline. He's checked by Parker Miller. Now he's switched off to Mudd. Good find there to Bartleman. Bartleman makes that one. The help was just a half a step slow, and here we go. 40-36. Back and forth. Gibson will fire the 3. It's no good. Miles Mudd will track down that rebound. He finds Gibson with it. The left-handed floater's not there. Gibson tips it out, and back to Miller. Now to Ursuline. He gets that one taken away, but now there'll be a foul called. Looks like Schoen and Aguilar are getting set to check in, along with Feldman and Cale Peterson for the Comets. Jackson Brown will take a breather, so will Miles Mudd. So Caden Aguilar and Dylan Schoen will check in. Feldman and Cale Peterson in for the Comets. So it's Feldman, Peterson, Owen, Hout, and Bartleman. Here's Gibson with it. He fires it over there and passes it to Dylan Schoen. Ursuline with it on the top of the key. He goes right at Bartleman. Ursuline goes to finish. He can't get it to go. Neither can Parker Miller on the putback tip. 2 missed easy bunnies there for the Bombers. Bombers need those to go down if they're going to win this one. Nate Feldman with it out top here, and he's hand-checked by Parker Miller, and Parker wishes he had that one back because that's the second one he's picked up in that capacity this evening. That's the third one on Parker Miller. 5:22 to go, North Polk basketball as they lead by 4. Bartleman with it. Gibson takes that one away from Feldman as he'll go in and he'll go to attack. Euro stepping up and under. It's no good. Aguilar couldn't get the putback, but he fires it again. Ursuline finally gets it, crashing the boards like crazy, and the bucket's off, or the lid is off the bucket for the Bombers as they trail by 2, 40-38. Schoen's checking Feldman. This is Peterson, cross court to Hout. Feldman has it. He's checked out here by Schoen. That's a football matchup if you've ever seen one. Owen with it. He takes it right to the rack and finishes over Ursuline. That's a big-time finish by Drew Owen. That's just a good finish by Drew Owen there. Using his strengths with that left hand. Gibson pulls up for the jumper. It is an air ball, no good. Feldman slips. He picks it up. There's the back cut to Owen. That'll be a foul on Caden Aguinaw. Just the second on the team. 4:09 to go. Some subs checking in here for the Bombers. Bryce Miller, Jackson Brown will check in along with Miles Mudd. That'll be Jason Slings. It looks like Ben Glasgow will check in for your Comets. Drew Owen will check out. Drew Owen's played a fine game tonight. He's got 11 for the Comets. Slings, he'll be checked out here by Bryce Miller. Bryce will pick your pocket if you're not careful with it out here too.
And if you're the Comets, you're just looking to grind out this shot clock. 4-point lead feels like a lot right now.
Absolutely it does. This is Slings with it on the dribble drive. Good move there. He couldn't finish it. Couldn't Jason Slings. Aguinaw has it. He'll fire it ahead to Mudd, and he'll be fouled, thank goodness, because Miles threw it in the backcourt. But he was fouled there by Feldman. I believe that'll be his fourth. That'll be Nate Feldman's fourth as Cale Peterson checks out. It looks like Eli Peterson's going to check in. He'll come in for Nate Feldman. It'll be Jack Speaker, Jason Slings, Jake Hout, Ben Glasgow, and Eli Peterson for the Comets. Bryce Miller, Caden Aguinaw, Jackson Brown, Miles Mudd, Dylan Schoen here for the Bombers. Schoen with it. Ball's knocked away. Hout has it. Good steal there from Hout. Good back cut there by Jason Slings, and now the Comets have a 6-point lead. Aguinaw has it. Was shown now in the corner. Back up here to Aguinaw. Approaching the 3-minute mark as the Bombers trail by 6. Jackson Brown will go, and he'll draw a foul, and I think he'll go to the line for 2, possibly. He is going to go to the line for 2.
Just a lack of continuity on the offensive end right now.
I agree with you there, Steve. Maybe you'll get that one to go.
I know it's been a couple years, but this is where the advent or adding the shot clock makes a big difference. 3 minutes feels like a long time.
Sure. Yep.
Couple 3-4 years ago,
just grind
that out.
Yeah. Hold on to the basketball and play keep away essentially. Brown will come out, so it'll be Gibson will check in. So it's Mudd, Ersland, Schoen, Gibson, and Miller.
You really got to stack some stops here if you have a chance to win this game.
100%. Ball's inbounded. This will be Speaker with it. He'll be dogged by Schoen. And dogged is exactly what he is. It's now to be Slings with it. He has it here in front of Gibson. That was close to barely getting it over there, I believe. That'll be a foul on number 22, Eli Peterson again. I believe, not again, but I believe that is a foul on Peterson as the Bombers just got at, and this is what we can do. But it can't be 44-40 to get us to do this, but I'm glad it's happening. However,
the Bombers in the bonus now.
Yep. Next foul on the Comets will lead to 2 free throws, as Steve just said. So under 3 to go. Bombers trail by 4. And what has turned out to be a dandy here tonight. Brown with it on the left wing. He goes to attack, and he can't finish. But there's Easton, Ersland, wind and fire at the rim. And he gets the putback, and Coach Jeff Schertz will call a timeout. 2:29 to go. Your Ballard Bombers trail by 2 in this one.
You know, Jackson got some really good looks there beginning of the quarter, I believe. Just missed them.
Yep.
Looked good coming off his hand, but now you see in the lane, taking it downhill, taking advantage of, you know, that space that gets created.
Absolutely. Bomber cheerleaders trying to get him fired up here as it is a blackout in the student section. And really, the student section hasn't had a lot to cheer about, right? Everybody's kind of sitting on their hands. It's almost like everybody's waiting for the roof to blow off this place with something. Give us something to be excited about, and it's in our guys. We've seen it time and time again. Shoot, we saw it the first 2 minutes of the game. Hate to keep going back to it, but we came out gangbusters, and this North Polk team,
they adjusted.
They did, and they hit against the ropes, but they never went down. And so Set the scene for you. 2:29 to go. Your Bombers trail the North Polk Comets 44-42. Timeout was just called by Coach Schertz. On the floor for the Bombers, it's Bryce Miller. He's checking. Jason Slings here out top. Along with Easton Ursuline, Dylan Schoen, Miles Mudd. Over here to Hout. He'll fire a three, and it's up and good. Big time three there from Jake Hout. And we've seen it before. Now Coach Schertz is going to take another timeout, will Coach Schertz, says that was a big time shot there from Jake Hout. 47-42. As Gibson and Brown will check back in for the Bombers with 2:05 to go. And really, that's probably the guy as far as Jake Hout. He's shooting it at less. He's at 29% from three-point range, so he's not bad. But it's a guy that you maybe want shooting the basketball, but 29%, it's not too bad from threes. 5 of 14 from the free throw line. He's averaging 7.5 a game, but I'll tell you the kid that's really impressed is Drew Owen. Drew Owen's averaging 6.5. I'm not even 6.5 points. He's got 11 tonight.
Yeah, and credit to Slings there. He split the defense and made a quick, aggressive decision to kick it to the corner. And
sure.
Wide open look.
And you said it, Steve. Just some of that with our help defense and them getting biased and getting their shoulders biased really compromises our defense on the ball and as a whole. Little ball screen action here as Gibson looks to penetrate. Kicks it out to P.K. Miller. Back in the corner to Gibson. He'll fire up the corner three. It's up and no good. Drew Owen comes out of there with it. That one's knocked away out of bounds as Gibson got there. Good hustle from Jude. Couldn't get the three to go down. 47-42, the Bombers trail. 1:45 to go. Both teams have 3 timeouts left. Coach Aaron Dose barking out instructions for his guys. Knocked out of bounds by Parker Miller. And I'm not sure why that ball wouldn't be slid out, but I don't. It's outside the three-point line. It's such a little tougher inbounds there for the team. This is Drew Owen. That's a big-time three. He takes it and he makes it, and that is a killer.
Dagger.
If you are the Bombers. Drew Owen with a big-time three. Looks like we've got a foul across the head as Jake Hout will draw the foul as he knocks that one out of bounds. But downtown Jackson Brown will go to the line for 2 here as the Bombers trail 50-42. 50-42 is the score, 1:26 to go, and the North Polk Comets have hit 2 monster threes.
Yeah, I kind of question letting that one fly there with 25 seconds on the shot clock, but credit to Drew, knocked it down. He's
having a whale of a game. Like I said, he averages 6 a game. He's got 14 tonight, and that's been a huge difference in this game. It's a role player stepping into his role quite nicely. Jackson gets that one to go, so Schoen will check in. A little defense for offense. Bryce Miller checks in for Miles Mudd. Again, a little defensive substitution here from Coach Jeff Schertz. The Bombers trail by 6, 1:26 to go, 50-44. Either going to have a jump ball or a travel, or we're going to have a foul called. I'm not sure which one.
He's calling a foul.
I believe he is going to call a foul on Jude Gibson. And that'll be the team's third and Gibson's third as well. Coach Schertz was hoping for a jump ball, which we were close with it. Comet basketball, they'll enter it on the sideline.
It's such a hard call. Pretty rare they call a foul in that situation, but
Coach Doze gets a timeout, and that's a good timeout.
That's a really good timeout.
Yes, it is. It's a benefit of the coach being able to call the timeout. It'll be Comet basketball. Not quite underneath the Bomber hoop, but on the Bomber baseline as they lead by 6, 50-44 with 1:21 to go. And this is something that really nobody saw coming this evening.
Not at all.
After a 77-44
and by
win for the Bombers.
You mean all the Bomber faithful.
The Bomber faithful, for sure, and even throughout the state. But if you go off of the last game played down in North Polk, which you got to play them all, that was a 33-point win, and it wasn't even as close as the score said down there.
Yeah, and I go back and look at the tape, but I feel like we've got a couple new kids playing, shorten up a rotation for them. They've been making adjustments.
And they're well coached. They're well schooled.
Yeah.
And like you said, and they play night in, night out. They have executed their game plan to a T, essentially. Here
And,
tonight.
you know, the Bombers, it's part of the game. Just not hitting jumpers is
Not
really
making shots.
It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't live and die by the three, but we shoot a lot of them.
We do.
And
we've missed a ton of layups tonight, Steve. I mean,
yeah.
we have. We've missed a ton of shots at the rim inside of that 4 to 6 foot range. We absolutely have.
Still $1:21 left.
A lot of time with the shot clock.
It's been a minute since they've had a turnover in this full court.
Yep.
So
Possession arrow is in the favor of the Comets, just so we're aware of that. This is Owen with it. Oh, and Ursun's going to draw the foul there as Bartleman will go. And it looks like Dylan Schoen took one to the face down here. Ursun went for the block, but Bartleman will go to the line for 2. This is Rocky Bartleman. He's a 70, almost a 74% free throw shooter on the year.
get a little blood here. Drew Owen. I believe they get a little bit of time to fix it. 60 seconds, 30 seconds, something like that.
Yeah, possibly with blood. I believe that is correct. Yeah, it's not like blood time in wrestling, but similar.
Correct.
Not quite. They don't have a built-in, right? There's
well,
not.
If you're North Polk, you want him back in the game. So
Absolutely,
yeah.
He's been I would say he's been their best player tonight.
Interesting. He's bleeding from hitting Dylan in the face, but
correct. That's from a tooth. He does have to come out.
yeah, I stand corrected then.
Feldman checks in for Owen.
I don't know why they wouldn't have done that right away then.
Correct. That one's good from Bartleman, so makes it a 7-point lead. Bartleman gets the second one is no good, so it stays at 7, 1:10 to go. Brown for 3. It's up and good. Downtown Jackson Brown makes that one. Cuts the lead to 4, and Coach Schertz will take a timeout. 1:05 to go. 2 timeouts for both squads left here.
Both squads in the bonus. Whistles have gotten a little tighter here the last couple minutes.
Yes, they have. So
You got to think it's definitely going to come down to free throws for North Polk here. We can't guard this in the half court for 35 seconds.
that's correct. And if you are the Bombers, the guys you want to look to foul, and I know Coach Schertz has this, but Jake Hout's a guy. Ben Glasgow at 41%. Feldman's at 44. I don't believe he's on the floor, but Hout's at 35. Peterson's at 50.
And sometimes more importantly, who don't you foul?
Correct. So that would be Bartleman and probably Jack Speaker. Jason Slings. Those are your highest free throw percentage-wise. But again, Owen tonight has shot the ball well, so his confidence is high. He's a less than 49% free throw shooter, but he's made a lot that he's looked at this evening.
Especially in the second half. I think he let it fly in the first quite a bit. No luck, but
right.
Hit a couple big ones this way.
If you're the Bombers and you want to try to play this out, you possibly can. But if you want to foul, the guy you want to foul is number 4 for North Polk, Jake Hout. And the reason I say that, he's approximately 34%, 36%, from the free throw line this year. Oh, he stepped out of bounds. Drew Owen stepped out of bounds. He absolutely did. We sped him up just enough. And Drew he might have stepped out of there a couple times, but that's what that pressure can do to you. Pressure and pressure, right?
Yep. Well, they've handled it really well the second half until that moment.
For sure. Bombers inbounds it. Gibson has it. Now a minute to go. Can't get stagnant here on offense as we trail by 4.
We don't have time to dribble around like this.
I'm not sure what's going on either. Mudd has it. Parker Miller now. And he'll draw a foul on Drew Owen, and we'll take that one. There's going to be 2 shots coming, but I'm not exactly sure. Just a little bit stagnant. Stagnant is what I would call it.
That's a teachable moment right there. You know, in film session, we're going to take a look at that and say, hey, you're down 2 possessions with 55 seconds left. We got to extend this game as long as possible. We can't dribble around the.
Parker Miller short on the first one.
You can't dribble out front for 10 seconds.
2, so Bryce Miller will check in the game for Jackson Brown. That foul was on Drew Owen. It'll be his 3rd of the game. PK's got the 2nd of 2 coming here. And he's no good on that one. That's not the guy. This is the guy you want to foul if you're the Bombers. And they give up the wide open layup to Drew Owen as now we go back down by 6 and there's 35 seconds to play. Coach Schertz gets a timeout, 33. There's a 2-second differential. 2-second differential here between the shot clock and the game clock.
I'll be honest, that's a little mind-boggling right there.
It sure is.
A, we have to foul, first and foremost, put him on the line. And B, we gave up and let him have a layup. That's unacceptable.
Correct. And we actually have the guy with the ball in his hands in Jake Hout that we should have fouled. And again, these are things that we're seeing up here. We've got all the stats right in front of us. They're at our fingertips, but they are available. So, Bomber basketball, we trail by 6 with 33.6 to go. So we got to get something quick. We're down to 1 timeout. And I believe we're probably going to draw something up out of the timeout, whether it's a quick 2 to the basket or a 3 here. But then the conversation has to be, who do we foul? The guy that we want to
I don't
get
think
fouled.
you have the luxury of choosing at this point.
You're not, but if you can prevent somebody from catching it, I think it is. But
without question,
it's a moot point other than we've got to get a bucket.
Yep.
We don't get a bucket here, it's going to be an awful tough hill to climb. Jackson Brown's in here. He'll look to inbounds it.
And if you're North
Miller.
Polk, you're definitely running them off the 3-point line. You know, something downhill at the buckets, way better for them than an open 3, especially for Jackson or Parker. Got one.
JB was too strong with that one. It'll be foul called, so Bartleman will go to the line for 2 here for Rocky Bartleman. Got a pretty good look there for JB, but he was just too strong with it. Caden Aguinaw is going to check in as Gibson's got his 4th. And Bartleman's at 73%, 74. That's good there. That'll stretch the lead to 7 as Aguinaw will check in for Ursuline Wind and Fire. Bartleman misses that one. Aguinaw has it. He's going to push with the pass. Mud back to Aguinaw. He'll fire a 3. It's up and good. Coach Schertz calls his final timeout, I believe. So now it's a 4-point lead, and the Bombers are without a timeout. So big time shot there from Caden Aguinaw on the trail 3. So if you're the Bombers, Steve, you got to get a foul right away.
Yeah, we're going to go for a steal and be aggressive in doing so. So the refs have let some things slide here. So you can be overly aggressive, and if it is a foul, it's a foul. They got to put them on the line, but you are overplaying everything right now.
And possession arrow is in favor of the Comets, so make sure we make note of that. So if there is a jump ball, it would go to the Comets.
You know, if I'm North Polk here, you know, I love a little 4-cross action with, you know, some fakes towards the inbounder and then run towards your bucket and throw it out there.
So we've got, I have no idea. Steve, your guess is as good as mine. It's really quite unbelievable. But anyway, it's 54-50. And North Polk does have 2 timeouts left. And they use a timeout there. So North Polk will be down to 1 timeout left here. So solid job there in the full court by the Bombers. I believe North Polk can still run the baseline.
Yes.
So 1 timeout, and that's kind of one thing with high school kids, and you've watched it enough at the levels that you see. They know it. They've been told it, but it's like they forget.
Well, part of that's practice, right?
Right.
You know, kind of the same thing with fouling up 3. You know, do you practice it? Do you practice running the baseline, inbounding against pressure late?
It's that situational stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Situational awareness.
That's the stuff at the high school level where I think it makes, you know, the good teams great, the good programs great, all the little things, right?
Yep. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. So we're going to set the stage for you right now. It's 54-40. The North Polk Comets lead your Ballard Bombers here at the hangar. 20.6 seconds to go. North Polk with one timeout. It's North Polk basketball, as we just spoke about. They can run the baseline as they just call the timeout, as Ballard is in that full court pressure that we like to run. It looks like it's going to be Jack Speaker is going to inbounds the basketball here as the official lets him know he can run that baseline. Good switch there.
Oh, got a tip.
Be a foul here. It'll be on, looks like it'll be on Parker Miller. So Drew Owen will go to the line. It'll be his fourth on Parker. So Drew Owen will go to the line. He comes in shooting 48% for the year from the free throw line. But Drew Owen's got 16 and he's averaging 6.3 a game. So nothing ordinary about Drew Owens now as he makes good on the first one. And if the numbers tell us, he misses this one. He's good at 50%. Dylan Schoen checks out. Caden Aganall check back in. Aganall just hit that big three just a second ago. Owen shoots that one and he gets both of them. So now it's 56-50. As now we'll look to roll it ahead here. Jake Howard will come up and he'll pressure Parker Miller, and Parker will have it. Can't mess around here too long. Gibson will fire the three. It's up and no good. Parker Miller grabs the rebound, but he turns it over. Now it's to Bartleman. Owen has it. He'll be fouled by Jackson Brown, and it looks like it could be all she wrote here for the Bombers. 56-50 as the Comets lead, as Owen will go to the line. He just made good on two a minute ago. The North Polk students section with the overrated chant as Owen misses that one. 8.7 to go. Owen makes good on that one. Now it's 57-50. Aganall will pick it up, and Caden will dribble drive, and he'll fire the three. That's up, and that's no good. Gibson gets the rebound. He'll put it up, and that'll be all she wrote for the Bombers. As North Polk Comets come in here and shock the world. For lack of a better term, as they're trying to get the North Polk students off the floor. But I can't blame these kids. They're excited for their team.
They earned it.
They absolutely earned it. And hats off to Coach Aaron Doze and this Comet team. They got punched in the mouth, 16-4 at the end of the first quarter, and they stuck it to the Bombers here.
Yeah,
for
they
three
just,
quarters.
Frankly, out-physicaled them. You know, they executed their game plan, but they were just more physical. 50-50 balls were going their way. You know, that's something the Bombers are going to learn from. You know, I still think at this point in the season, with seedings and regionals, one or two losses, we could still secure a one seed, but this one's going to sting for a bit.
This is going to sting because
we go to Carlisle on Tuesday. That should be a nice W opportunity.
Well, that's no slouch, though. They just went up to Carroll and hung with them. So, again, Raccoon River Conference, and you can't come in overconfident against any of these teams, and that was evident tonight.
Absolutely. It felt like a rivalry game that we didn't show up for, except, you know, that first 3 minutes. And after that, we kind of thought we could coast.
We did. And we didn't make shots. We didn't make outside shots. We missed a lot of layups. We had plenty of opportunities. But there's a lot of teachable and coachable moments that Coach Schertz can take from this one tonight.
Yeah, you sometimes wonder, I'm a glass half full guy, is this good for us?
I agree.
I hope so. You know how you respond from something like this says a lot about yourselves as a team. You know, squeak out a game like this, having given up a 16-4 lead. Would it be nice to stay undefeated and stay in the driver's seat for a one seed, given that a sub-state final is at home now? That's a big deal, but I still think that is definitely within grasp. All the goals for the season are right there for us. I mean, it's a wake-up call, and losing to North Polk is something that I know none of these kids enjoy, and they're going to be rather upset about it. Now it's like, what are you going to do with it, right?
It's going to sting, as it should. Now, if you were to ask me, would I want to lose this one or
Never.
one in the sub-state final?
Oh, touche.
I would tell you, I would rather lose this one.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to lose this one because it is a rivalry game, like you said, and this is the second time they've come into our house and gotten us
2 years in a row.
2 years in a row.
Yeah.
So, again, kudos to that team from North Polk because they came in here and they took it to us, and they executed their game plan well. And Drew Owen, hats off to that young man. He finished with 19, came in averaging 6, finished with 19. And I will tell you this, and I'm going to be a little bit outspoken about this. High school sports is great, and fans are great, and you got to let the fans enjoy themselves a little bit and let kids be kids.
Yeah, especially in a game like this. They earned it. Let them have fun.
Absolutely.
Number 1 team in the state.
They earned it.
They came in and punched us in the mouth, and now we got to go back to work.
Again, hats off to that North Polk team and Coach Aaron Dose. Again, next Friday, folks, we'll be at home. We're on the road Tuesday, but we'll be at home. The boy band is back together, not in sync or any of those guys, but it's Brock and Chase will be back on the call for the ADM. And a week from this Friday, it don't get any easier in here, Stephen.
No, I mean, if you look at the conference standings, that's for the conference.
Absolutely it is. That'll be for a conference title, and this could be a wake-up call that the Bombers needed. But for my cohort, Steve Domino, thanks for joining us tonight, Steve. Executive producer Danny Sunset Sinksler. I'm Timmy Trumpets. Tim Davis here. As the Bombers fall in this one, 57-52 from the hangar in Huxley, Iowa. Have a good night, and as always, go Bombers.